Happy Monday, guys. Harrison Graham here with another episode of Bears Now. Ian Rapoport dropped a list of names to watch when it comes to the Bears coaching search. 1 week left in the regular season, so this thing's really going to start to ramp up here. So we're going to go through this list of names to watch, and I'll explore some other coaches as well as the Bears coaching search is ongoing. Here we go. All right, let's dive on in here. Hope everybody had a great weekend, great holiday as well. Got New Year's coming up, so should be a fun couple of days for you and your loved ones. I know it will be for me. Ian Rapoport, Tom Pelissero putting together an article with all the teams and the coaching situation, etc. And for the Bears section, this is what Rap Sheet had to say. Quote, the Bears are still working through background on a long list of candidates and a search led by team president Kevin Warren and GM Ryan Poles, whom Warren has said will remain a key piece of the organization after the firing of head coach Matt Eberflus on November 29th. We'll see if that's still true, obviously. Despite a 10-game losing streak, amidst seemingly constant turmoil, the Bears have a lot to offer prospective coaches, including Caleb Williams at quarterback, ample draft resources, loads of cap space, and hopes of breaking ground on a new stadium in 2025. Again, we'll wait and see. The Bears aren't locked in on anything yet. They want someone who embodies the city of Chicago at a critical time for the franchise to set itself up for years to come. He then listed 4 names of coaches that are worth keeping an eye on, so we'll get to those guys in just a second. But let's mix it up. I've been asking who do you want as the head coach. Most people say Ben Johnson. A few say Vrabel, some other names. Give me your top 5. I'm going to ask you guys to dig a little deeper for me. Top 5 head coaching candidates in the comments right now. If you have reasons for each of them, let me know. But I want to know who your top 5 is. All right, the first name that was mentioned was, of course, Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator. These are the updated stats for Detroit's offense this year. Top 5 across the board here, obviously, as they are first points per game, second yards per game, third down, red zone, turnovers, all that good stuff. It's well documented. He has guided a top 5 offense for 3 years running. He's done an excellent job. Yes, they have a lot of personnel, but they didn't have this much personnel his first year doing it. So he's done a really, really good job of helping take Jared Goff to the next level. You guys know where I stand. He's my clear number 1 target. Play calling experience, working under an alpha like Dan Campbell for numerous years now, experiencing winning in a place that hadn't won in decades in the Detroit Lions. I think the Bears could use someone with that experience because they have not won at a high level in a very, very long time. And, for all Bears fans out there who are down and out and don't feel like this is ever going to get right, I understand. But Detroit's a great example of things can change. You can get it right even in a place where it seems like there's no way out. Ben Johnson's been a big part of that success and that turnaround. So he's my top guy. Mike Vrabel, another name to watch from Ian Rapoport. Obviously, former Titans head coach. He's consulting with the Browns this season. Been some chatter, Raiders, maybe the Patriots if Gerard Mayo is one and done. Obviously, had a good run in Tennessee, 3 playoff appearances, made an AFC championship game, earned the number 1 seed in 2021. They got upset in the divisional round, but went 13-3 that year. And he did so with Ryan Tannehill primarily as his quarterback. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings and takes on Caleb Williams and what he's going to become, but from a raw talent standpoint compared to Tannehill, it's not even close. My question here would just be, who are the coordinators? When he had Arthur Smith, he obviously had Matt LaFleur for a year. Those were good hires. After that, Todd Downing, not so much. So, that's the risk of going defense. Who's the offensive coordinator going to be? Now, I think there's good options out there, but again, if you get a really good offensive coordinator who has success, that guy probably becomes a head coach somewhere else. That's today's NFL, which is why, despite I understand the appeal of Mike Vrabel, a no-nonsense leader type who's won before, that's the risk, is potential shuffling of offensive coordinators, which is why the perfect outcome is you hire an offensive guy that hits and you pair that guy with your quarterback and you have him for a decade plus. That would be the preferred route by me, but I do understand the appeal of Mike Vrabel. All right, a couple more to go through, and then we'll get to a few other names as well. But I do want to tell you guys about today's awesome sponsor. That is PrizePicks. listen, the year might be wrapping up. PrizePicks ain't going anywhere, as you can play daily fantasy literally every single day. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play it for just $5. 2 to 6 player lineups where you just pick more or pick less on the stat projections provided. You can play with football players, basketball, hockey, soccer. You can crossover players within your lineups. It's absolutely awesome. I had my worst year ever in my season-long fantasy football league, but playing PrizePicks every day kind of softened that blow because I was able to try different players. I was able to win some money. So you guys should do the same. PrizePicks right now, you can win up to 1,000 times your entry on certain lineups. Take advantage of that. I've got a little two-player lineup for Week 18. Baker Mayfield's been cooking. Liam Cohen, keep an eye on him. More on his passing yards. They got to win to clinch the division, so I expect them to take care of business there. George Kittle, I like him to find the end zone as well. That's a little demon pick, so kind of boosts my payout if I hit. Pick more, pick less. It's PrizePicks. Code CLNS to get that $50 bonus when you play for just $5. Check out PrizePicks today. Available in more than 30 states. If it's available in yours, you should play. All right, Brian Flores, another name to watch per Ian Rapoport. Obviously, he's done a fantastic job with the Vikings defense this year. Top 5 in most categories. Passing defense, you can throw on them some, although for 3 quarters, they completely shut down Jordan Love yesterday. Red zone, they've been average, but some of that got inflated yesterday because down the stretch, Green Bay kind of got some late touchdowns to make that game interesting. But key downs, he's been excellent third down. Tons of takeaways, tied for first in the league. His exotic blitzing, it's all well documented. The question with him, as we've discussed for a long time now, is can he learn from his mistakes in Miami in terms of just not being able to connect with Tua? Now, that doesn't mean he has to believe in every quarterback, but you can't shoot the guy down. Like in this league, you kind of have to have a good relationship with your quarterback as the head coach if you want to have success. So I think that's something he would really have to answer for and be willing and be able to convince you that he can do that and connect with Caleb Williams. So that's my biggest drawback on him, other than the fact he's also a defensive guy, which, again, I've documented why I would prefer an offensive route. Okay, Kliff Kingsbury, also a name to watch per Ian Rapoport. And I'll give Kliff credit. About a month ago, I was like, I'm fully out on Kliff. He still wouldn't be in the top tier for me. I would go in a different direction because we've seen him as a head coach and we've seen his teams in the second half of seasons as a head coach kind of fall off. But I'll give him credit. As the OC in Washington this year, there was like a dip there for a couple games, but they've kind of picked it back up, right? I mean, we saw them win another nice game last night against Atlanta. Good adjustments during the game, I thought. He started running Daniels more and just running the football in general after Jaden was struggling in that first half with his accuracy, and they clinched a playoff spot. And we got to give credit where it's due. He's been really creative with Jaden Daniels using his mobility. They ran a little triple option type of play for a touchdown in the first half where it was a zone read where Jaden could keep it, he could hand it off, or he could keep it and then throw at the last second. That was a really creative red zone play. And you just kind of get the thought of, okay, how creative could he get with Caleb and his athleticism and all that stuff. So I've definitely at least reopened the door a little bit toward Kliff. Again, I wouldn't put him like at the top, but I would at least have him in my interview pool. I'd certainly be open to seeing what he had to say this time around as well. Okay, Ian Rapoport had this to say when he listed the names. Is Ben Johnson, one name expected to be part of the process. He's intrigued by the job, so another report that suggests Johnson's interested, and he's going to listen. Rapoport says, other names to watch include Mike Vrabel, Brian Flores, Kliff Kingsbury, who we just talked about, among many others. So it got me thinking, okay, who could those others be? We'll dive a look into that in just a moment. But listen, we're here every single day. Did 2 videos from home yesterday. Daily updates on the Bears coaching search, so turn on your notifications. If you missed our Sunday content, did about a 30-minute episode on Ryan Poles and kind of a full evaluation of him through 3 seasons and why I think it probably makes more sense to go in a new direction there. So check that out. I also did a video last night about a rumor that Ben Johnson could be more interested in Jacksonville over Chicago, which I think would be a pretty big indictment on this franchise. So go check that out. Okay, other potential candidates among many others, like Rapoport said, these are some names that just popped up for me. I think Liam Cohen and Joe Brady will be in the interview pool, obviously. Todd Monken, I think, is worthy of an interview as well, the Ravens OC. A name that isn't getting talked about at all for any of these jobs is Kellen Moore. I watched him slice up a Dallas defense that's been playing better as of late with Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee yesterday. I mean, I think Kellen Moore deserves a look. Aaron Glenn, I wouldn't want him, but he's certainly worthy. It's just I don't want to go defense, really, and if I do, I'd really go Flores. Pete Carroll, I probably wouldn't do it, but I understand the appeal. Kevin Stefanski, Mike McCarthy, two sitting head coaches, but there's some chatter maybe Cleveland would move on. And then McCarthy doesn't have a contract. His contract expires after Week 18. So even if Jerry wants to bring him back, he is open to talk to other teams. So I think that situation could get pretty interesting. And look, again, I wouldn't put him in my top tier, but we got to give McCarthy credit for steadying the ship this year when things were off the rails early on. Won some games with Cooper Rush. I know they got blown out yesterday, but still, I think at minimum, McCarthy is a solid coach in this league. Okay, I do want to just spend a moment here on Liam Cohen. This guy continues to rise up my list. If you guys haven't gotten a chance, just go search like Baker Mayfield 2024 highlights on YouTube. You'll just see some of the concepts this guy runs. Search Bucky Irving highlights too. Like, sure, there's just good individual player play, but these concepts are awesome. They scheme guys open constantly. He's very creative in the run game with misdirection. It just seems very QB friendly. Like I really like what he's doing with that offense. Now the Bucs have a very good offensive line. They have an anchor in Tristan Wirfs. I get all that, but I just watched this guy coach, and I'm like, yeah, like this guy knows offense. Like he's pretty damn good. He was with Sean McVay. Went back to Kentucky. Now he's back in the NFL. Another guy, by the way, that the Bears interviewed to be their OC, and they chose Shane Waldron over. So another excellent job by Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles. But I like this guy, man. He's pretty impressive. He's definitely rising up my list. All right, fill in the blank as we are set to get out of here. The Bears 2025 head coach will be blank. Let us know who that person's going to be. We'll be back this afternoon with Bears Now Live somewhere around 4 o'clock Central, so have those notifications turned on so you get notified exactly when we go live. More content to come. Bear down.